welcome everybody to the Game Design Variety Hour. I'm your host, Matthew Dunstan. How is everyone doing on this lovely Friday afternoon/evening? Just trying to adjust this a little bit. Oh wow, lots of people here already. Hi Robin, Rob. We've got the Robs here. Excellent state. Hello. You win. Hi Alex. Hi everyone. Hey Robert, how you going? Welcome. Pretend that nobody. Well, yes, nobody was here originally. I was running a little bit late today, so yeah, I've got things started. But years ago, it used to be Rumbellers. Okay, I've obviously missed some context there. I think. Glad everyone's doing well. Hope doing well. We say yes. I mentioned I happen to notice chat in my own stream. It's not always guaranteed, but I'll try today. Hey, Hala, yeah, welcome. I haven't seen you for a little while. Yeah, how's everyone going? It's a very wintry kind of last few days here. And oh, hey, Arul, how are you going? Welcome. I don't think I've call you on the show. Thanks for dropping by. Hey, Spielpunks, how are you going? Welcome. Yeah, it's definitely feeling like a winter paradise here in Prague. We're getting quite a bit of snow. It doesn't always happen in the city, so it's and as a native Australian, it's still quite a novelty to me to have snow. Although not that I've actually gone out that much over the last few days, but yeah, it's been quite pleasant. But yeah, and hope everyone's having a good week and is well and safe wherever they are. It seems to be a lot going on in chat. Maybe we've all been spending too much time with each other and getting on each other's virtual nerves or something. I'm not sure. But well, I hope hope you're well. And this stream's going to be a little bit different, I guess, to my normal streams. In that I'm actually going to design a game, strangely enough, or at least attempt to. So we'll see how that goes. So sort of settle back, relax, grab a favorite beverage. I've got my Earl Grey tea, as always, and yeah, enjoy just some design using put on your own whatever music you'd like. I haven't worked out how to do music over my stream yet, so feel free to play something on your end that you enjoy, and yeah, hope we'll have some fun. You have to yes, you can just hum along. I have to hum. Okay. I've been a bit addicted to. I'm a huge Eurovision fan, which I'm not sure if I've said on the stream before or not. But one of my favorite Eurovision entries, Kano from Norway, which competed in 2019, they released their new song that they're going to the final today, this morning or something, and I've probably listened to it pretty much on repeat for the whole day. So my brain is a little bit, a bit sort of like, like sort of driving music beats going on in my head. So let's see how we're going. I'm trying to do an idle stream. I'm trying to what's the word? Take on the spirit of Michael and see how that might go. But yeah, Rob's on the Ceylon Christmas cake. Oh, I see. It's a bit late for the Christmas cake. Ah, yes, table elements. So I mean, I have to pretend that I'm still a chemist, at least in some ways. So oh, and Zate's just made a lasagna. Oh, lovely. I'm quite jealous. Lasagna is one of my favorite foods. Although I'm mostly vegetarian, so we do vegetarian lasagna, which is still very good. But I still have memories of like kind of ragu meat, like beef lasagna, which I loved as a child. So to the games, I guess. To the games. I don't think there's much news or many things that I was checking out this week as a designer. Oh, the tabletop mentorship program has just opened. Actually, I'll flag that. I'm pretty sure it's opened because I thought it was the 14th. So let's have a look, shall we? Yeah, it looks like it is open. So I will work out how to share that. Share. Yeah. So if anyone is interested in the tabletop mentorship program, would really recommend. They've just opened up sign-ups for the next session, next kind of time, whatever, next period, the next 3 months, basically. Yeah, so no, I'm not directly involved in the program. I have been a mentor I think in 3 separate periods by now, or 3 or 4. I've probably mentored about, I think it's like 6 or 7 people by this point over like the last, I don't know, 3 years or whatever. So I've been in and out a bit. Yeah, so it's if you just I can actually probably just put the link in the description below as it's been programmed into my head or whatever. So I dropped it in chat. Go and sign up if you're interested, either as a mentor or a mentee. They've got lots of information. So the enrollment period is from today through to January 24th, and then the actual mentorship will run, February through April, so 3 months, 12 weeks sort of thing. And they do a really great job. I mean, I haven't been on the mentee side, but as a mentor, I've really enjoyed it and found it very rewarding. Made some new friends, and even some people who were in chat. We had some interactions through that. So yeah, would really recommend, and it's pretty easy to sort of sign up. You just click on what you're interested in. So I'm interested in becoming a mentor. Click on that. I think they do also a really good job of trying to outline, what mentorship is and what kind of expectations for the program are. So, that you're trying to share your knowledge and experience with someone who's new to the field, but you're not, it's not a partnership. You're not co-designing something. Hey, Nicola, how you going? Welcome. Hope you're doing well. We're just talking about the Tabletop Mentorship Program, which has opened to signups today. So go right now. I won't be annoyed if you drop out during my stream and sign up for the mentorship program. Would certainly recommend. And they've actually even in the last sort of iteration, the last period, they've done really great job to. They've got a really great Discord server. They've had lots of live events and talks and Q&As and things and some roundtable discussions and things. It's really getting bigger and better. So would really recommend. So do it. Good, Rob. Excellent. Be more like Rob. Robert says, I did the program too, not with Matt. Yeah, no, we weren't mentor or mentee. Apart from being able to talk to someone about what you're doing, having a deadline to the next meeting is a great way to motivate to do work. Absolutely. And the way it works is you try and meet once every 2 weeks, roughly. You talk for somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour. And I found, I think it was quite useful. You can also sign up to be, I've even known people who have signed up to be a mentor for some people and a mentee in other ways. So if you're maybe a bit more somewhere in like as an intermediate designer, maybe you feel like you can offer something in a mentoring way to those who are a bit less experienced than yourself, but maybe you're not so experienced that you would still like a bit of mentoring. I think it's possible to actually sign up as both a mentor and a mentee if that's also interesting to you. They also do a lot to work to, you can be very specific as a mentee. You can really, if you would really prefer to be mentored, whether you'd prefer to be mentored by a man or woman or otherwise, or based on geographical location or based on sort of skill set. There's lots of ways in which you can sort of be specific in what you're looking for in a mentor, and they do a really great job of matching people up. So Nicola would recommend it as well. I missed some lasagna talk, which I just want to read for my own. So Zane makes lasagna with spinach and Greek cheese layers and chili tomato layers, but this one's a meat layer. Actually, the Greek cheese, our go-to is a sort of a vegetable medley of zucchini or courgette, sweet potato, and tomato. But I do love feta or Greek cheese, so maybe we'll do that. Just catching up on chat. Oh, there's folks in the chat. Great. Okay, so Tabletop Mentorship Program. I'm actually going to leave that open, so I will also sign up probably a bit after the stream. Great, but okay, that's just gone. Okay, that was a good. Hey Simon, how are you going? Long time no see. Hope you're well. So to the designing. Let me share a screen. Let's see how this goes. Is that going to work? No, probably I should do that. Okay, great. Let's hide that. So today we're going to be working on kind of the game that came out of the Game Jam on Monday, which was sort of a roll and write or flip and fill habitat kind of game with various animals. I haven't looked at it since Monday, so this is going to be really I guess close to my own kind of process. I think after I have that kind of initial idea, and then I start thinking about what I want to do, with the game. And at some point, you have to sit down and make the first prototype. So that's kind of my way of working. And usually, I just open up a page in Illustrator and get going. Really, sometimes I might be trying to think about the game a bit more before I sort of get things done, but today I'm probably going to be doing them sort of simultaneously. So I'll be thinking by doing, which ultimately is usually the best way to kind of I find to make progress. When you actually start trying to put things on a piece of paper, that makes you think about how they have to work, and then you think about these things. But yeah, feel free to anytime you've got questions, whether it's about the game I'm working on or else, just drop it in the chat. And yeah, let's just settle in and have some fun. Robin says, "Game jam the next session. These are the voyages of the Starship Dunstan." Sounds fun. All right, so I was thinking, everyone likes hexes. So I have this image of everyone having a map, and that map being made of hexes, but relatively small, like that you would have, a reasonable number of hexes. The other thing to kind of think about already, like that I'm sort of thinking about is, well, how big do I want my map to be? Because so let's think. I probably want, how long do I want the game to be is the first thing. So each turn, you're probably going to make say like one new habitat and one animal potentially, which is kind of cool. Actually, I just had a kind of cool idea that is inspired a little bit from Tiny Islands, so I might go with that. So yeah, you're putting one animal and one habitat down each round. Animals go in previously placed habitats, or in fact that same round. So you're basically covering like one hex per round, roughly, something like that. And so what do I want? I probably want about 20 turns. I don't know, something like that. Sounds about right. So I would cover about 20 hexes. So far I have 6, 12, 18. I kind of want almost double the number. So this is like 22 here. And then this is my very hacky way of making a making a hex grid, as you can see. So this is like 44-ish. I probably will now move some stuff around so it's not so so it looks a little bit, I don't know, a bit cleaner. A little bit more symmetrical is a nice thing. Robin says it's easy to make those hexes in Illustrator. I had to do my hexes in Excel, talk about time killer. Yeah, definitely. It's not the easiest thing, I guess. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine trying to do things in Excel. I was trying to do when we were doing the Hitman prototype, I was trying to code in Excel, and that was also a bit of an experience. So would not necessarily recommend. What do we want to do? There's a bit of a shape kind of coming through that looks vaguely symmetric. So let's try that. Yeah. Okay. Afternoon, Bass. How are you going? Welcome. Oh, Robin, your job is coding Excel. Oh gosh, wow. Okay. I guess. Well, if you're used to it, then it's fine. But it's something new to me. Yes, it is a little bit like Cascada. That is true. I think what I'm interested in that's going to be a bit different to Cascadia is a bit of a sense of geography, I guess, which might be interested. And yeah, there's definitely going to be a bit of a similarity, but well, I mean, it's roll right, so let's see how it ends up. And I'm not always so worried at the start of a project if a game is a bit similar, because I know inevitably things usually diverge as you develop. So I don't think it's too bad a place to start. HA, yes, hexes, where all game design must start. Alex says, a nice little graphics hack I saw was that offset squares have the same adjacency as hexes. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. And by offset squares, Alex means, you have a square, and then if you just put another square halfway up on the side, something like that. And you've essentially, if you tile that, then that's essentially the same as hexes. A lot easier if you have to cut things out. possibility. I see. Oh, you missed the jam. Yeah. So it was on various things, and I think, you know, I'm not necessarily making exactly the game that, you know, like I'm kind of, and this is actually pretty close to how I work on things. Like I'm kind of working from memory. I haven't really looked at the idea that much, even what we wrote down. Even though I said at the end of last stream, like, oh, I'm going to write this down and put it in my notes. I haven't actually looked at that. This is purely from me just thinking about it in my head, because I find the things that I'm remembering are probably the things I'm more interested about anyway, rather than slavishly sort of like following my notes. Yeah. Spielpunks has a set of 18xx rules for me to use. Ah, I see. Yes, this is 18xx, the roll and write. Yeah, which I'm sure there must be a way to do it. But yes. Anyway, so we've got our board, and actually, what I'm interested in is, which I've just sort of thought from a little bit of a tiny island kind of thing. So maybe I'm too used to playing tiny islands, but I was thinking that you could start. So one thing is like, the animals are easy enough to think about. You have to put an animal on an existing landscape. That's pretty straightforward. I can understand that. So you're already limited because the board is not going to start with landscapes on it necessarily. But you have the problem like landscapes. If I get a new landscape, how do I determine where new landscape tiles are? Like, how do I constrain that? Because if I give a player like, here's this whole grid, put a landscape on it, it's a bit too much. It's too much choice. So what I was thinking is you could start with 3 continents, and those continents are going to grow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a continent here, for example. I'm just going to do it black just to kind of see how that might look. I think the kind of cool thing is this could potentially be done randomly, that you could you know, determine randomly where your continents are going to start. By some, you know, determinant of players working it out, but I'm just going to put it there. And then the rule will be when you have to put, so these are already some starting landscapes. So immediately also you have a bit of choice about where you're going to put an animal. You've already got 3, you know, landscapes kind of ready. And when you put a new landscape, it has to be adjacent to an already placed landscape. Excuse me. Yeah. Just catching up with the chat. Are you trying to be symmetrical with that grid? Does symmetry matter to you in game design? Not necessarily, but I find unless I have a good reason of why I want to do something asymmetrically, it usually works out better if it's symmetrical to start. And you kind of work out if that, you know, yeah, I think that for me is the sort of like asymmetry kind of requires choice. Doing something symmetrical is sort of like without bias at the start, I would say. Yes, this is still a continuation of the game jam bass that we were doing on Monday. So I'm sort of showing what the next step would be. I haven't looked at the idea anymore, like anything basically since Monday, and I'm actually kind of doing it from memory. Yeah. So let's see how we go. So yeah, so you're gonna have the rule basically when you do a new landscape that you'll have to do it adjacent to any of the starting ones, and then maybe you could have an additional rule where you have to have 3 continents at the start. So continents can't merge. So you always, if you imagine that this is all kind of like water, if it's not drawn on, you know, we've got to have some borders between the different continents by the end of the game. So that gives, you know, a nice bit of direction, but maybe there's lots of different ways things could be shaped, and that could kind of be cool. Okay, so that's a board. That's a good place to start. So what are we going to put on the board? We're going to be putting habitats and animals. So I have a handy little, I have a font here that is actually called playing cards, which lets me type in dice. Like I just put a 1 and it comes up with a 1 in the thing, which is kind of cool. I'm missing 2 edges if I'm trying to be symmetrical. Have I done something stupid? Oh, I mean, it's not perfectly symmetrical. No. Yeah, that's true. It's like a bit squashed in the thing. So yeah, would recommend playing cards font. Very useful. And like all the other things are like playing cards, which is kind of cool. Not that I've ever used it, but yeah. So I know in the game jam we were talking about flip and fill. So having like cards with different combinations of like animals and habitats, but I have kind of decided just to go for dice for now, mainly because it opens up the possibility that people could play along eventually. And there may be things afoot with some other people that maybe might be working on some like open roll and write kind of ideas, and I think in that it's going to be easier if it's, you know, like really just print off the sheet and you just need a die. So just going to go with a die kind of solution for now, but you know, it might not be the be all and end all. So next is going to be we're going to need a bit of a table. So I'll bring up rotating the grid. It's already 6 roughly, and do something like that. Actually, go. And that. I'm not sure if I would always make these things that like good looking to start with, but just trying to be a little bit neat and tidy. Maybe I should zoom in a bit so people can see. Just chat, like put in the chat if you feel like it's all a bit small, or because I obviously on my screen, when I look on the stream, you know, it's smaller than it is in reality, but I'm not used to kind of doing this in the same way. So yes, we need some results for these different things. Let's make it a little bit bigger, and let's make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so, oops, that's not what we wanted. We want animals. Oh, still in playing cards there. Let's see how bad I am at managing to write. This is I'm not that fluid in making these things quicker. I'm not a natural in Adobe Illustrator, so basically I'm thinking that the different faces of the die will correspond to different habitats. But what I'm actually going to do for now is, because you're going to have to draw it, and to be honest, I don't really want to worry about like the types of animals or things like that. I'm not that interested. I'm kind of just more interested about like graphically how it could look. So what I was actually thinking about with the habitats is that they could be shapes. So you could draw a shape, which you would then be able to put the animal in. And I think that will be a lot easier. So what actually I'm probably going to stick with for now is actually that the animals you just put in as numbers, because I think that will just be easier. I know it's deeply athematic, but it'll be a lot easier. Like for now, I don't know if it's going to still be animals in that much longer, and you know, it will just be easier to write in and do on, you know, on stream or whatever. Yeah, I was thinking about with the habitats actually, yeah, to keeping them the shapes that are equal to the number, so that it will be a lot easier to remember like what is what, because I think that's going to be always a little bit of a problem. You don't want like players to always have to like check back at the table. You'd want them to be able to internalize it as quickly as possible. So like, for example, for the 4, it will be a square, which is maybe not that exciting, but that's that, I guess. And yeah, we'll have a triangle like a mountain, which actually is vaguely thematic, which is nice. So we can try that. We'll have a circle for 1, because that's technically a 1, although let's see how that goes. We'll have a cross for 2, which is my sort of go-to for when I have to. I've done this before. I had to think of shapes to be different sides. So we'll have that. It's not particularly most. It's not going to be the most particularly nice thing. I have to admit that, like, and a hex is probably. I'm just thinking about whether 6 should be, because 6 is already. I'm tempted for 6 to be wild, actually, to be perfectly honest, because 1, you don't want to put a hex inside another hex. I mean, this is a little bit of like where like actually trying to do the game is starting to sort of affect things, I guess. Because actually, I'm going to try instead of this. I was thinking maybe it could be more like it's like 2 bars on either side or something. I don't know. This is a bit speculative, really. Let's try 6 being wild, because I can't imagine putting a hex inside a hex that's already there. It'll be hard to kind of see. Nicholas says, I guess if you're not going to cross off anything on the board, it won't be confusing. Yeah, you're not going to be. Yeah, you're going to start basically with empty hexes, and yeah, we'll go from there. I mean, this is just a start. I mean, it's just literally to sort of get a feeling. Excuse me. And I kind of want to do a star for 5, because I feel like it will sort of stand out a bit more. And I know it's breaking things a little bit much, but I think putting, again, like a pentagon is a bit of a kind of a tricky shape, and players might kind of quickly work that out. An asterisk would go with the cross, yeah. Oh, I see. So you were thinking about having a cross for crossing stuff out. Yeah, I think at the moment there's not a sense of crossing things out. I could definitely see that possibly happening if you have some, you know, some way of things dying or otherwise. But I think for now that's fine. So the other thing is, what should the 3 habitats be? Which is an interesting thing, because I have to start with something. I'm going to propose that we just do a 1, 2, 3 basically. So I'm going to put here. I'll put these both to be back to being. I mean, it doesn't really matter where they start. Let's say that's our kind of starting board. Okay, so just recapping, the way the game will be played is you'll roll. At the moment, I think you just roll 2 die, and you can freely, you get 2 actions every turn. Everyone uses the dice simultaneously. You will, and for each die, you choose for it to be either animal or habitat. If you choose it to be animal, you have to place it in an empty habitat, and you'll simply put that number inside, you know, that shape. And each habitat can only have 1 animal. If you're choosing it to be a habitat, then the only rule is it has to be adjacent to an existing habitat, whether it has an animal or not. And we have to preserve the 3 continents, so the continents can't essentially touch. There's always going to have to be some line of empty hexes between it. Are these individual player boards or players playing on a central board? These are individual boards, so this would be like a pad, you know, in the roll and write kind of tradition. Okay, so what are we trying to do? So the next thing is you need some scoring, because why are we trying to do things? And what I kind of wanted to do was a bit of a, you know, a kind of like a bit of a combinatoric kind of scoring. Is it animal number 5 or 5 animals? No, it's animal number 5. Yeah, so that is a bit confusing. The numbers are meant to be actual animals. I can actually change them to be letters. And again, my very you know, so we have aardvarks and bats and cats and dingoes and emus or something like that. Yeah, so the different types of animals, and you've always got one. I was kind of tempted, actually, to, yeah, I was sort of tempted to try actually having like a little grid of different scoring things, and actually you just choosing like that there'll be only 3 of them available in a particular round. I'm not sure about it, to be honest. So this is going to be 18 kind of scoring things, for example. Because what I like the possibility of is that you would, again, you could roll the dice to determine, you know, which things you're scoring. No, that's not very good. Let's do it this way. maybe there could be common scoring methods and you plug in the relevant numbers. That's true. It could be a kind of a that's interesting. Actually, it could be an interesting like kind of almost like Yahtzee kind of thing where you're plugging in the animals that you're going to try and score in different ways, which could be interesting. Like you have to every round you have to choose. Oh, I'm gonna say that the 5s are going to be a particular thing. There probably needs to be some central way, like some fundamental way that things are scoring, though. Just thinking. Or like you get 5 groups. Sorry, you get 5 points for each group of 3 X's, yeah, and then roll, and then you roll X. Yeah, not sure actually. Let me. Yeah, this is. I guess this would be the thing I normally would. I would be walking around and thinking about it a bit more than trying to do it live on stream. One thought is that it's just something fundamentally about like that A's want to be in circles, like because that's something a bit easier for players to understand, possibly. So like you'll score your largest area of circles. I mean, something that is very easy is, yeah, I would, I think like, let's see, fundamental common scoring. I'm just going to write it. 1, each habitat, 1 point for largest group. So like the largest, like, forest, the largest, which I do realize is a bit like Cascadia, but it's not necessarily the first time any game has done some majority thing. And then for the animals, I don't know. I don't know whether you want biodiversity or you want the opposite. Yeah. Shout out in chat if you've got things. One, just trying to think about what you would. Well, how about like maybe each animal is 1 point for matching habitat. Maybe that's the easiest thing. Diversity, all about diversity. And say it said, I don't want to be rolled. Because like where A's want to go in circles, B want to go in that could be a easy way to start maybe. Yeah. And then what I would kind of like to have is some extra scoring that you would essentially be that you would sort of activate at the start, that we'd all roll a die 3 times and that would tell us, whether this scoring thing is on, and from each column you'd have one thing. Something like that. If I made the 1 to 6 wrap around, then you can score for habitat adjacency. So for example, 2 score if next to a 1, 2, and 3. 6 scores if next to a 5, 6, and 1. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I guess I worry. It might be a little bit too puzzly. No. Don't worry, Nicola, don't worry. But it's an important thing to realize, like, there's always going to be some similarity in games that you make. But, if there's little ways at the start you can sort of nudge things apart, then that's not a bad thing either, realistically. So there'll be these little kind of tick boxes. You have to start somewhere. Yeah, exactly. And Robbins, you would subtract points if a 4 is placed next to a 6. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let me think about that actually. Yeah, you could have some sense of like a hierarchical kind of thing that and actually maybe them not working around is kind of an interesting thing, because you could have, you know, that A's and E's are actually fundamentally more difficult to place, but maybe more points. Yeah, but anyway, I'll stick with this for now and think about. So this would be the point now where I have to sort of come up with, you know, some number of other scoring conditions. So let's do this. It's a bit smaller. Okay, so let's say that's saying maybe multiple animals of the same sort to create a herd group would be given points. So if a herd group, there is a potential natural evolution of that species. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess once I made the habitats have to matching, like it feels like either animals or habitats are like making, you want to make big matching groups. But I don't know if, how that will exactly work. Ak was saying, too complicated if there are predators. They score if surrounded by herbivores. Herbivores score we're not near predators. Yeah, I like that kind of thematic thing. I worry a little bit that it's going to be, because what I kind of want is a very big kind of set of possible kind of scoring things, a little bit like, say, Circle the Wagons or something, where you have like 3 quite, not crazy goals, but like quite different goals. And it feels like that the fundamental scoring has to be pretty gentle in that case, because I think if you're going to make the players do quite difficult things here, if you make the fundamental scoring too hard, then, you know, I think in these games you need something to kind of like latch onto from the start. You know, if you don't have something clear and easy, then I think that can be quite tricky. But I mean, interestingly enough, actually, this current scoring is going to lead to clumping anyway. So maybe the kind of predator prey. Let's try it. Like, I'm just going to put this predator prey thing, which means that, you know, adjacent animals. Fine. So let's see. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Oh, great. Thanks, Rob. Well, I don't know why I'm thanking you, but yeah, great. Good stuff to sign up as a measure. Okay, let's make some goals. So I think down here, I kind of want like one of the animals to work kind of specially. Okay, so actually the kind of interesting thing is also you could even have a random, so what I could do is have this be like an animal. So point per herd this animal. So we're going to say that herds are like separate groups. Oh, actually, maybe I'll keep a bit of a tab of terminology here. That's very, very small. Anybody actually reading that? Herds. Separate. Okay, let's try that. And the idea would be that you would basically, like randomly determine this by rolling like a die again and then putting in the number essentially. So yeah, if I rolled like a 1, so I know it's this goal, and then I would roll a number so that I could work out which animal it needs to be. Robin says, on the score sheet, what are the 3 separate columns? Are they ages where stuff is lost between ages? So a herd might survive, a carnivore survives if next to a herbivore, a herbivore survives next to a plains habitat. Habitats are removed due to natural disasters. Wow. Yeah, everyone in chat's coming up with like some really great like thematic ideas. I mean, to be honest, right now, these aren't ages. It's just that you'll activate 1 goal in each of the columns at the start, and everyone will know what you're working towards. And and realistically, this could probably be on the back of the like one of the pads, so you would just like rip one off, and everyone have one in the middle. So yeah, it's not that you really have ages. Like you would just play a certain number of turns, I think, probably. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking of at the moment. Let's see. Hope everyone's got some cool music playing in the background. Actually, I can play some music in the background, and nobody will know. I could be rocking out to Eurovision, and nobody would be able to. Oh, you would be able to hear it, obviously. It's like, how stupid is that? I mean, that's one way to have music in the stream. I often do work with music because it's just, I don't know, it's how I'm kind of used to, you know, getting into the zone. Alex has got Elmo's World. Is that your tunes of choice, or is it constricted by certain little ones that you may be looking after? I mean, this part I wouldn't always recommend to people to like try and make. Oh, I should also probably save it because that would be bad if I lost it. I have a funny thing in Illustrator that I have to. I always have to remember this. I can't change folders when I save, because if I do that, then it Illustrator just quits on me. And I've often, like early on when I wasn't so like well like muscle trained to remember this, I would often like try and change a folder and put it where I wanted, and then it would just crash and I'd lose everything, which is very, very annoying. Yeah, lots of fun for everyone. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that I like to think that I'm reasonably good at, which is like, please come up with 18 different, you know, scoring / special ability or something like that. So 1 point per herd of this animal. I thought we could have one which is 1, maybe 2 points per animal on continent. The fewest. So this would be you're getting 2 points per animal, the continent with the fewest. I will try and make this first row or first column rather all about animals. So you've got some like one particular animal that you're interested about, which I think is, yeah, could be interesting. X per different animal. Yeah, that is true. You could definitely just try and make sure that you've got. How would we do that? So it could be like 2 points. It could be like really, maybe it could be like more like a goal. I kind of like, there could be some that which are much more like goals. So it could be like 10, let's say like 5. No, I don't know. What should it be? It should be like rising score or something like that. Let's use, I mean, because I'm just trying to think about how many points might you score for these typically. Like these are kind of like in 10 or 15 points. So I feel like it should be something like 4, 9, 15 points for, oh wow, there's actually only, that's fine. 3, 4, 5 different animals on each continent. It's some terrible typing as it went off the thing. Oh well. A little bit smaller. Oh, actually, we don't need that then, which is, that can be bigger. Oh, content. I'm missing some. Alex says, if there are rounds the player in last place could have some influence over the next scoring condition. Yeah, I mean, the way I'm thinking right now is that it's just purely simultaneous. Like, there's very little interaction in the current game. Yeah, basically. Alex is on. Yeah, Alex and Robin got plenty of stuff. Yeah, I don't know if remote play is a goal. I guess I'm a little bit inspired by AdultCon a little bit, and because there's a potentiality for the kind of games I'm thinking about that they should support potentially remote play, and this like be soloable and all this sort of stuff. And so yeah, that's what I'm sort of starting with at the moment. So we'll see how they go. And yeah, lots of great ideas for So Robin, I've got kind of like a diversity goal now. 1 point per animal adjacent to X. Yeah, exactly. So what I might try is 1 point per animal adjacent to edge, which could be interesting. That's kind of cool. X points per animal you have the least of. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like a bit similar to this kind of diversity goal. This really wants you to go hard on a particular animal and make a lot of them if possible. X points per animal on natural habitat. Yeah, exactly. I guess that's similar to what we had before. I'm just thinking. Yeah, I guess you could have like natural habitats kind of thing. Yeah, sure. In natural habitats. I mean, what I'm hoping is that you're going to get like a bit of a unique puzzle each time you play. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I might try like 5 points per isolated animal, so there's no adjacent animals to it. See you, Robin. Yeah, catch you a little bit. Hopefully, we'll still be going. Yeah, but thanks very much for the session so far. Yeah, and bon appetit. X points per pair of animals, Y and Z. Yeah, that could be interesting. I do like possibly like I feel like this is a bit more of a. I feel like the last column could be something that's like very difficult to do potentially, or just kind of interesting. But I do like the pair of animals potentially. The exact pair of animals. It's like a breeding pair of something, but there's not more than that. So exactly pair of a particular animal. Okay, and then we'll do one for habitats. So, oh, I know. Actually, I'm now thinking about some other ones just while I 1 point points equal to size largest continent minus size smallest continent. So like you want to have like the biggest difference in sizes of the continents. And then this one, then you could obviously do one which is you want even sizes of continents. So you could just have this for the smallest continent times 2. Alexa says, I'm too impatient. I try and play the game with the first 3 scoring ideas. Yeah, and actually, you're absolutely right that you may as well probably try that. I mean, maybe we can do that. Actually, let me come up with one for a. I guess for me, like I think the interesting thing is to have a mixture of types. So you have like one that's about animals, one that's about habitats, and then like one that's sort of maybe a combination or some kind of weird stuff. So we can do that basically. So let me just think of a one with welcome lurk away. Say hope all is well. Okay, what do we want to do with consonants? The consonants already want to be in groups. Well, I guess it could just be like per. Well, yeah, per group of this. So groups are kind of like you know. What am I calling it? Oh, okay. Well, group. Separate. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just save that. And I'm going to now save it. Let's just save it as like a working playtest. So I'm not sort of going over the top of it. Cool. Alrighty, so I'm gonna give it a go and try and play it. And actually, this is way quicker than I would normally play something, I have to admit. So I'm actually gonna just choose a goal. I'm gonna do this goal. So I'll make that kind of black or red or whatever. I'm gonna do this one. And I'm just gonna roll a die. Whoops, that's not correct. I want that. And let's do this. So we want kind of even continents. So normally you would roll a die for each of those, it's fine. So I have to roll a die for this one. And I'm just going to be rolling a die manually in front of me. So you're just going to have to trust me on my results. I don't have a camera set up for that. So it's a 5. So that's going to be an E. I want E's close to the edge if possible, which also means I want continents to be close to the edge if possible. Okay, so let's see. How many rounds? I said about 10, right? So is there a way that I can easily count it off? Probably not, annoyingly. Let me just think about how I would want the game to, and I mean, maybe that's not very important right now. And it isn't, but I must admit that it's not my, I don't necessarily like games where there's a strict timer like this, maybe. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's just my kind of preference for things. I very much prefer that it was a bit more like natural, but oh well, that happens. So round. Let's go. Let's make a little marker here. And actually, the other kind of interesting thing, how this is quite different for me, is that normally when I would get to this point, I'd actually would make a prototype. Like I would probably print out a prototype, or I'd put it on Tabletop Simulator. And I don't really like playing by myself, to be perfectly honest. So like chat is doing a very good job by, I don't know, I just really don't like self playtesting that much, solo playtesting. And I would actually wait for a chance to playtest it with somebody, even if I've never played it, which I'm not very kind to my playtesters. I'm not saying that's a very good idea, but yeah. Aquas, maybe you have to fill in the C each round as a natural timer. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's cool. That is very cool. Let me just think how that works. If you're filling in a C every round, yeah, maybe that does work actually. Are you going to have the problem that you're not, because in the current mode, you can, that's a really, really good idea, actually. That's a really good idea. I'm just now going to get rid of this round thing. That is brilliant. But, what is the problem? The problem is, like, ideally you'd want players to be playing, like, to have the same number of turns. I'm just trying to think of what happens when somebody, like, is completely filled. Well, maybe that's fine. Maybe if you've just completely filled it, then that just triggers the end. So there's a little bit of a race. Yeah. And you kind of want animals. Like, it's interesting. I think this scoring is kind of good because animals are more likely to generally score. But yeah. So, like, you're already going to be incentivized probably to place animals, which you always have to do habitat. So habitat's at least going to be a 1-to-1. So yeah, like maybe a thing. And then how many rounds? So I've got about 40 hexes or a bit more. If I do 3 a round, which would be kind of the fastest I would go, that's going to be like 17 rounds if I'm doing only 1. But if I'm doing 2, yeah, it works if you're placing habitat each round. Yeah, I guess I liked the possibility that you didn't necessarily have to, but I guess you will have to always catch up, won't you? Yeah, I liked the possibility of being able to kind of mix it up and decide whether you're doing animals or habitats. I thought that was kind of cool potentially. Okay, let's just go for, like, you have to put two water, because then that means it'll be 10 rounds at the quickest, and that's fine. So yeah, you have to put 2 C each time. Yeah, it's a great idea, Alex. Actually, it's a fantastic idea. Thank you. So I'm going to very quickly find a little thing from the Noun project off screen, which looks like water, which I can just copy and paste. Oh, actually, no, I can just change the color of the thing. What am I doing? What am I doing? I should get my head in line. Okay, great. So yeah, placing 2 water each round, along with either 2 animals or 2 habitats, or a animal habitat and an animal. Okay, great. And I've got my goal. So I want E's next to the edge. Each of them give me a point. I want I need a habitat. So so it's 1. So that's the circle. So for each different group of this circle, I get a point. So really, I want to make like one big one and then lots of smaller ones. And then I also want all the consonants to be roughly the same size. So let's see how we go. Let's see how we go. I've rolled a 1 and a 2. Maybe I can have a thing up here which is like current roll. You can see it on stream. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Okay. Is that a good size for people to kind of see things, I guess? Yeah. Yeah, it is a great resource to have a playtest group. I'd really recommend, if anyone's based in the UK, reach out to Playtest UK. There's always a lot of interest to set up new playtest groups, and really you only need 2 people to do it. That's how the Cambridge one started up, like 10 years ago or whatever. And if you're not in the UK, I mean, kind of wherever you are, again, you just have to find one other designer. And even in a virtual space, finding just one other designer that's happy to meet up, once a week or once every couple of weeks. I think that just the main thing is just have at least 2 people who can be regular or relatively regular, and setting that regular time, because it's a really great motivation to do things. So I am going to just also do something quickly. I'm just going to group that, because that means I can just copy it, and I think we're fine. Okay, so enough chatting. I'm gonna have a quick drink of tea. I'm gonna consider my 1-2 roll. Okay, and I've got to remember, I want lots of circles. So actually, I might use the 1 as a circle habitat. I'm going to start over. Well, actually, I want to kind of prepare things by the edge if possible, because we want things on the edge. And then I have a 2. So I'll start putting it in over here, I guess. And then we need to do some water. So let's try some water here. And I mean, maybe the water has to be adjacent, realistically. Because I feel like, I mean, the only thing about doing the water is that you're sort of, yeah, maybe it's a bit too open, but I mean, let's see. Okay. So I got a 2 and a 3. Alex says maybe I'll start something for the idiots. Is this a like a new group that I don't know about? And Robert, you've got a playtest day. Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, so with a 2 and 3, so let's think about it. I do. Wait a minute. Okay, so I don't have any E's yet. And we want a big group. So let's continue this particular habitat here. And I don't see why not putting a bigger habitat like over here and heading for the edge as well. So let's try that. And I'm just going to keep going with making this water in here, I think. Okay. So idiot stands for idle designers, including other Twitch streamers. Oh, I see, including others. So I'm technically an idiot, I guess, because I also watch Michael. Okay, 3 and 5. Let's see. Okay, so 3. I kind of like continuing on this group here. It's quite nice. Into the corner. And a 5. Now we want this animal next to the edge if possible. So let's put in some animals. We want them by the edge if possible. And then, well, I'm just going to keep going into the center for lack of better ideas. Okay. Let's go. Ooh, double 1. Double 1. Okay. So that's good because we want lots of different circles. Actually, I'm going to start by putting this a little bit closer here so that I can again maximize my thing. And then we have to, yeah, the interesting thing is about that's true. I'm sort of starting to wonder whether you need to actually absolutely have 1 and 1, because I mean, I like the variety in being able to choose in a way, but not having to score. It's a bit too easy just to make sure your habitats can sort of always score, because now I can actually, as long as let's see, I guess. Let's see. I don't mind that. All right. Let's see. Rob, really want face-to-face playtesting again, especially because of the one game that relies entirely on tactility, which can't work online. Yeah, that's true. There are some things, and there are some games also that are like kind of quicker games, I guess, that are, you know, a bit of a pain in the ass to, you know, you don't really want to have to fire up Tabletop Simulator. Okay, so I've got a 3 and a 5. 5s I like because I want them to be near things. Maybe the idea is that you have to have a predator or prey. Like you have to have something 1 lower for it to score, maybe. Not sure. Maybe. and then A's always automatically score, maybe something like that. So that was that, and then a C, which could be a C or a. Oh, actually, I probably last round didn't fill in to C. Let's go over here. Okay, double three. One lower for prey words. Oh, I missed something. One of my games is nearly ready, but it includes peeking at the tops of cards in a sort of half sleeve, and I haven't figured out how to implement it properly yet. I mean, there are some things that I feel like digitally you'll spend so much time trying to work out how to do that you're just like, is it worth it? And you just want it to work later. Nicola, one lower for prey works pretty intuitively, I think. Yeah, exactly. So there's this idea that you have to have something to eat. A's always score. Well, maybe A's actually don't score. Maybe A's fundamentally don't score points, but you have to have at least one next to it to prey. And if you have something that's like too far ahead of it, then it dies. Like so E's are always fine, maybe, I don't know. I've put 1, 3 in, and it's just whether I want, let's put in a C then. Let's see how that goes next to a B. And then I'll just continue on my current way of doing this. Four. I've not rolled a single 6, would you believe? Okay, 4 and a 5. So we want more. I wasn't particularly ready, but I'll put an E over here because we want them by the other thing. So that was my 5, and then a 4, which is interesting, which is not currently present. But what I might, I think I might put a square already over here. Keep going. Okay, cool. I mean, in a way, it would be probably good if you don't have a choice of where to put the water, maybe. I think that might be a bit more interesting. That the kind of like the sea levels are rising, you can't kind of control them. So that maybe like a die roll somehow sort of influences that. I mean, you could actually have, where do we have 6 rows potentially? Yeah, you could have something like, because it could be something like here, like, although it requires a bit more fiddle. You could have this idea that basically whatever you roll, it's going to add the next hex along this way. Not sure. I was just thinking that, yeah. Then you need 6. Like this doesn't quite work because you basically, ideally you would want 6 kind of things. Yeah. I'm not sure. Anyway, we could just keep playing as it was. How many things I've put in? That's 5, 9, 11, 13, 14, 11. Okay. Maybe I'm not counting very well. I feel like I'm losing track a little bit of playing. Okay, 1 and 1. Yeah, so like if it was in this way, if it was 1 and 1, then I would have to do this, for example, which already feels a lot better, and it means you always remember to do the water, which I think is really good. And the interesting thing now is that I might really want to try and make sure this habitat doesn't get cut off, maybe. So I might sort of do something like this, kind of put land on the I might try and do something like this. I hold back the tide, sort of thing. And I roll again, and it's a 4 and a 6. So let's say this is the 4, and the 6 would be over here, maybe. Do I want this to be bigger? Maybe. Oh yeah, a bit of a problem with. Yeah, actually, I definitely do need a D. I need something for these E's to eat. Otherwise, they're not going to score. But I can have another E over here. I'll take that for my 5, essentially. Double 6. So maybe that would be now. Would we go to the next thing if 6 was filled? I mean, this is all a bit rough. I have free choice. I kind of like putting a thing here. Yeah, 6 is wild in all. I mean, you always get to, like, the only restriction in placement is that habitats have to be, like, you have to have continuous islands. So you can't put a habitat over here because it's not part of one of the 3 islands. And animals have to go in previously placed habitats. So I'm going to choose this one wild to be a triangle, and then I'm going to get a D over here so that these animals don't starve. I think the prey thing is good because it makes you have to sort of play. Yeah, you have to kind of have complete chains, which is good. Okay. Nicholas says the way water is behaving at the moment makes me think of a sinking island, something about infrastructure in Atlantis. Yeah, I think you could probably. I mean, you could sort of talk about, like, it's like an ice age, right? It could still be like rising sea levels and things like that, which could work. I've got a 5 and a 6, so this would kind of go, and let's say this would go. Okay, so we're wanting to make islands that are equivalent. So 5 and 6. I mean, what do I want that to be? Interesting. So the 5 is going to be an E, definitely, and I want the E to be next to the. Well, I can just keep going wild, I guess, in a way. I can just do this, and then put an E in it. And all those E's are going to eat the D, so it's okay. Jay says, what if the water have to go next to one of the things you place on your turn? Yeah, I kind of like there not being a choice about the water, to be honest. I think it's making it a lot smoother, and it means you never forget because it's the first thing you do when you roll, when you make a new roll. And I like that kind of upkeep that you don't have to remember. I guess 1s are filled, so I would go to the next thing, which is here. I mean, this isn't right because it's not kind of evenly distributed. And now I'm a little bit, well, not worried necessarily, but I would think that I want something more, or like I'm a bit worried this one's going to get too small. So I definitely would put a, what type don't I have that's very present? Let's put this type with the hope that I might be able to make it bigger if I have to. So that's for my wild, and then my 1, I should probably get an A in here so it can score. Maybe A's always score as long as they're not, eaten by something too high. Yeah, it might make it hard to make group. I guess it would make it hard to plan. I mean, I don't mind this kind of. I mean, it's interesting even how it plays out with that you kind of have to think about how big your. Well, I got 1 and 6 again. So this will go here, and then the 6 I guess would keep going here. I mean, it's not particularly natural potentially. So again, actually, this is good because I can make this keep going, and I actually thought ahead, having this like this. And so I'm guessing, what are we saying? Ones automatically survive anyway? Maybe, but I could just make this a little bit bigger. Let's make the one this habitat. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, this scoring condition doesn't really work, actually. This needs to be 2 points. Because if it's 1 point per group of the habitat, it's the same as like putting them like next to each other versus, in which case now I would put this like, I would put this over here, for example, because now I want different groups and it's better to do that. Okay. 6 and 6. So that's going to be those, for example. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's probably going to be pretty close. So maybe we're fine. Maybe we say 7 is the size we're aiming for. Yeah, I think that's fine. So, well, let's keep making this bigger, I guess, which is fine. And let's keep making, well, I mean, while we have the choice, I guess I'll keep putting in animals, which might be able to feed later, hopefully. See how that goes. 1 and a 4. We're getting close to the end anyway. So these are all full, so it'll be these two basically that will fill in. And the nice thing is it'll naturally end anyway. So a 4 is a D. A D is good. Put there. And a 1, well, I will try and make this. That's gonna go, but let's say that's that. The waters are rising. Alex, yeah, you missed Alex. That we've a great suggestion from, was it Nicola or from Rob or from Alex? I can't remember who made the suggestion about the water to make it kind of automatic. So actually, that's going to be these two. So this would end the I mean, the game's going to end either way because I'll place water in these final things. So it's whether I want to, I may as well get some final points for animals. So a 2 and a 3 is a B and a C. So I could put a B. What did I want? Each animal. Oh yeah, it's just whether they survive or not. So I can put a B here, and I can put a C like a C there or something. Oop, my mouse is frozen up. Oh, I've also hopefully I'm back. Can people hear me? My computer had some issues. I'm back. Excellent. Thanks. Thanks. Okay, let's go back to sharing the screen where we were. I mean, we're about to finish the game anyway. So in the next roll, these will definitely get filled in. And that is our final, that's what our final little habitat looks like. Great. So then we would do some scoring. if we were scoring. So first, for each habitat, we get a point for the largest group. So this is the largest group. So we'd get, I'll just write it down on my own. So like 6 points. For this, we've got 2 points for this type of habitat. For the triangles, we've got a big 7, which is great. For squares, the most we've got is 2. And for stars, we don't actually have any. And then you would look for each, maybe we start from the highest animal and you would see whether they have something to eat or not. And then, if they don't have anything to eat, you don't score them. So the C has something to eat, the Bs have something to eat, A's always score. So that's 4 there. The E's all have something to eat, but the D's don't. So you just get 3 points. The E's all have something to eat, but these D's don't. So you get 3 points there. So far I got 10 for animals. I got 17 for habitats. And then for the special scoring, we get 1 point for each E adjacent to the edge, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 for goal A. Goal B is 2 points per group of this habitat, so per separate group of circles. So there's 1, 2, 3, 3 groups, so that's 6 points as well. And then you get points equal to the size of the smallest continent times 2. And the smallest continent is 6, so that's times 2 is 12 points. So how does the eating work? So the idea is that an animal needs to be able to eat, so E's eat D's, D's eat C's, C's eat B's, B's eat A's. So as long as like a specific animal has something to eat, then they're fine, and you'll score a point for them at the end of the game. But if you don't, then they don't score. And A's always score a point. In this model, maybe they, I'm not sure, maybe they just shouldn't score anyway, possibly. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, it's interesting. I think yes, you're right. So the D's on the lower island is score. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, these E's do score because they can eat this D, but neither do the D's score. This D and these D's don't score either. These all did score. And I'm not sure whether the A's should score a point or whether they should just never score. That's easy to remember with A, B, C, D, but might be harder when they draw animals. Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure. I think. Oh, thanks for coming by, Spielbunks. Have a nice evening. Yeah, I'm not sure about. I mean, I kind of like the letters because they're easy. I'm not much of a drawer, so I don't really like roll and writes where you have to draw. And I think that makes obviously the simpler it is to kind of actually roll and write and do that thing. But I like the combination of like the habitat and the animal. I think that worked well. I'm still not sure whether you should have to do one of each on a turn. I liked having the flexibility. I think that was interesting. I like that you're kind of like, I feel like maybe animals should score more because I think habitats are a bit easy to score at the moment, so that you should always be trying to score animals, but and you kind of need the habitats to work. I'm not sure about that. And then yeah, I need some sort of geography that makes this sort of automatic thing like both a little bit more like unpredictable, but also obviously covers the whole board because I was doing it a bit roughly. But yeah, I don't mind it, and I think there could be like lots of like variation. I liked the kind of like, I haven't seen that many roll and writes with that kind of like variable puzzle like scoring in a way where as if you were like dealing 3 cards from a deck and it's like the combination of all that scoring. I think that's a really interesting thing potentially. Hey, hemoglobin, goblin. Oh, that's a really cool username, by the way. I like it. It seems you're not taking advantage of the fact that a roll of 1 is always a choice between A and a circle. Feels like either that should change each game or there should be some tension inherent there. Yeah, I mean, I guess the fundamental tension is that you need habitats before you need animals. Like, I can't keep putting animals in, and I guess that what I was sort of thinking about is if as long as the scoring for animals is interesting enough, like is valuable enough on a basic level, then you're going to, there'll always be a tension. Like, I want to play animals for the I want to play I want to play animals for the points, obviously, but I need the habitats, because I can't put the thing. Yeah, Alex, you're right. Maybe a smaller map and one water per turn. Maybe I kind of liked doing 2. It felt like it was I liked it. I wonder whether you want. I mean, I actually wonder whether you want more control over the continent composition in a way. I was sort of wondering about that, that it's not fixed that you're always going to have 3 continents, because now you're sort of taking that control away from the player. Yeah, no, I get the point that choosing which die to use for water placement, but I think I want the water placement to be really automatic. To be honest, I think I want that to be the part of the game that the players you're already. Hopefully, the choice of the animal and the habitat should be interesting enough to give you enough of that kind of choice in the game. I don't know if I want to introduce another phase, because I think then it potentially just gets a bit bogged down. And the other thing I kind of like that is sort of interesting is that there's a sort of a non-linear way in which this will build out for different players. Because depending on, I love it if I choose to say fill this hex with a habitat, that's going to really change how the water kind of spreads out potentially. I think that could be quite interesting. But yeah, that's kind of. But I think it's interesting. I don't know. I haven't. Yeah, I think there are some, kind of some board games that come to mind, but I like there is a bit of a story, which is kind of nice, and with the kind of the water coming through, I think that was, whoever that was, whether it was Alex or Jay or that's, I can't remember, sorry. That was a really, really great idea, actually. Really fantastic idea. I'm also not sure about the wilds, to be perfectly honest, because I think that it just kind of removes a bit of the tension, which is not that great. I think the other thing is that you probably need some reason, because right now you do have a reason to play all the animals, because if you want all your animals to score, then you really need all 5 types of animals, but there's not that same thing for habitats. And I'm wondering whether there needs to be some basic balancing for that. I'm not sure whether it's you score the smallest habitat. So do E's not eat C's? Yeah, exactly. They can only eat the immediate animal below it, which I think will keep, you'll have these kind of food chains present, which I kind of like. Whether that's too too restrictive, but I think with the goals playing into that, for example, if you're playing a game where suddenly C's are really important, then you're well, I'm definitely going to need B's as well, all right? Or then D's are also a bit more interesting. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot, that kind of, again, with that mixture of goals, that it'll be kind of a different puzzle to solve each time. Yeah, so not too bad. I don't know. Well, I don't know how interesting that was for everybody, but hopefully it was somewhat interesting. I'm just going to save that. Wait a second, it's not working. Yeah, well, that's my kind of process, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely true that roll and writes are they're just easier. They're easier to design in some way, and you can see that you can really just start putting something down and trying it. They're a really good example of minimum viable prototype, but another time we can do another game which is not a roll and write. I could definitely show you a small card game or something like that, how I would sort of approach that. So maybe when we would do another game jam, we can really restrict it to be let's make a 18 card micro game or something like that. That might be another kind of, you can see a different type of game design, I guess. Yeah. MVPing, it means minimal, well, in this context, it means minimum viable prototype. And it's the idea basically what's the least effort or least work you can do to get to a point to test your idea. Because, the moment you start testing, I mean, it was a perfect example here. The moment I started testing, there were lots of interesting ideas about the water. And even when I started putting water in the center, then I started playing and I feeling it's well, actually, yeah, this choice is not that interesting, or I'm forgetting to do it. And then, make it, then that you come up with, yeah, you kind of learn in the play. there's so much you work out on the first side, like the first playtest generally, because there's a lot of things you kind of assume might be interesting or not, like, you know, and it's just, for me, it's like activating those choice. When you have to go through the choice yourself, you realize, is it interesting or not? Is there tension and things like that? Yeah, thanks, Bess. I'm glad it's useful. Thanks for the good feedback. But yeah, so at least I've got some set up that I could partake in the next IdleCon. You know, actually streaming maybe and designing. It's I wasn't. Yeah, I have to admit it's something I've never been sure about how to do with streaming or what's kind of interesting, but I thought actually it's not. I liked this idea, and I actually thought it could be interesting to work on. So yeah, very nice. Cool. Okay, well, come back up top. Yeah, so we're about an hour and a half in. Probably. Oh, I see. Bez is planning a week-long jam in early Feb. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, maybe I'll see what I can do for that. So yeah, maybe this game will turn up on another stream. I'm not sure, or it'll turn up on some IdleCon thing or something like that. Or if people are interested, I can put you know, I think there's like a corner in Michael's IdleCon Discord, which I for other streamers, which I might sort of use as a dumping ground for things. So I can always put a print and play somewhere if anyone would like to try it. I probably think I need to fiddle around with the geography and how the dice might work and things like that. But until I do that, but yeah, let's see. So I think I will probably do just one. We're sort of yeah, coming to the fun part of the stream. The stream so far was just horrible. I hated it. But maybe I'm going to relax a little bit and play a bit of Tiny Islands. If anybody wants to follow along, feel free, as always. I think, and because I always do it for, yes, business is finished, now we play. Yeah, I have to, actually, it's kind of cool. I think I should try this weekend. I have actually a PC finally, or like, my partner had to buy a PC for their museum, but of course the museum is currently closed, so they could bring the laptop home for me, and I could. I'm going to try and play some PC games that I really wanted to try. I really want to try Monster Train, which is this great thing. Robin says, if it's at this point, I need to write down the rules. Otherwise, next time I forget them all. It's a pretty good point, actually. I think I kind of. Like, I think I will remember, but I'm just trying to think if there's anything I would want to put down. Yeah, get along with cooking. Thanks, Rob, for dropping by. Have a nice evening. It's interesting. I honestly, again, at this point, I actually like working from memory, because there's something about, if I remember it, then again, it was something that has kind of stuck with me. And if it's not sticking with me, then there's some reason it's not sticking with me. You know, because that's true. If you don't have a good memory, and, you know, I think my memory is good enough with the context, and there's something about, like, if you're remembering something versus not remembering something, that might be an indication of why you want one thing over another, potentially. But yeah, but I definitely like, and yeah, you're seeing that thing is not. I'm not very good at writing down the rules. Alex says, the one bit of advice Eric Lang gave me was to improve games, throw out the rules and write them again. Yeah, maybe. I don't, again, like with all game design advice, you know, it's you take what you want, you know, because not everything works for everybody. But I think I'm probably the same. Like, something has to come around in my head, and if I remember it, if it catches me, then I'll keep doing it. Robert's saying, was it ABBA who never wrote down any of their music, think it was good enough they would remember it? Maybe. I have never heard of that, actually. Yeah. Other people postponing to write down the rules. Yeah. I think also, for memory and like for capturing like the results of a test, I think that's very important. And I think when the game is a little bit more set and I feel like there are more specific things I need to do, then I would take like playtest feedback. But because the game is still quite open, I guess I don't actually want to. I think the moment you start writing down these little points, I feel like that starts telling me, oh, I'm into the point where I'm iterating now, whereas I don't think I'm there yet. I think the game is still early enough that I would like to not feel like I have to optimize it yet, because I still have the kind of freedom to explore and maybe find something cool that I didn't think about. The moment I start iterating, it's hard to like, it's like going down like a hill. Like once you start, you want to get to the bottom because the bottom is like the kind of optimized game. But maybe you're not supposed to be in this valley. You're supposed to be in a valley like over the hill. And the moment I start going down the hill into this valley, the moment I keep optimizing, it gets harder and harder to get out of that valley into another one. So like right now, I'm kind of near the top of the hill, and I don't know which valley I want to go into. So I kind of want to try them all before sort of getting too far deep, because I think once you get really deep into something, it's hard to just completely reimagine it. I think. You kind of turn some part of your brain off, or at least for me, that's how I find it. Rob says maybe different for collaboration. Yeah, I mean, if I was collaborating, I think having some rules early on is useful, especially if you're playtesting separately, because making sure that you're playtesting the same version is quite important. But the idea of game being in different stages, like iterating, would be interesting for a future stream. Yeah, okay, I'll put that down. That's true. Yeah. Different stages. So it's like, I guess it's like start and ideas, iterating, and then like, I guess it's like balancing / polishing is probably the third kind of thing. Open world sandbox style roll and write, or was the grid fixed? I had a fixed grid only because I was just thinking what you kind of print on the page, I guess. Oh yeah, there was something else I kind of wanted to show on the stream, but I'm not sure if I'm going to find it now. Did anyone see this? There was some Kickstarter. It was like doing a kind of like roll and write game where the pads were sort of generated by AI. I'm not going to find it though. Has anyone come across that? Robin says, I mean, you noted down a number of things during the game jam anyway, so maybe rules is a bit too constraining for a minute. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess, yeah, making notes about, yeah, and actually maybe making a note about, like, I probably should put something like animal scoring should be more important, because, yeah, that's going to be, like, in a way, it would actually be great if you only had animal scoring, because you need habitats anyway. So that kind of feels like, yeah, maybe something interesting. Yeah, it does sound like a cool concept, but I wish I could find it now. I don't know what it's going to be. Where am I going to find it? I'm not sure if anyone. I never find things on Kickstarter. I don't know. I can share this with everybody while I'm looking. A bit more interesting, maybe. Oh yeah, okay. There we go. Yeah, I always find Kickstarter just absolutely stupid to try and find anything, but oh, this is it. Oh, great. Perfect. I got a bit lucky here. So yeah, it's called Paper Apps Dungeon, and basically it seems to be like, as far as I can tell, a fairly straightforward roll and write kind of one-player solo RPG kind of thing. And basically, you just get a pad, a pencil, and a die, and you have heroes, and you're going from like level to level. So it says, similar to you roll a 6-sided die to determine how far you'll move each turn. You pick a direction, draw a line, interact with everything on that line, be it a monster, treasure, or a teleporter. You customize your character, roll your way through each floor, and get items with the shop sprinkled throughout the game. There's even a page in the back to track stats like how many times you died. So if you die, don't worry, it's all part of the adventure. I guess you can rub out something. And then he's got software called Drawbot, which he generates graphics from Python scripts, which is kind of interesting. So this seems to be this Drawbot thing. Maybe it's by, I wonder if it's by by the creator himself. No, not necessarily. Okay, no, they're the folks. Yeah, so I think it's all procedurally generated, and he's going to do different. So if by multiple pads, then they'll all be different, which is kind of cool. Cheers, Alex. Take care. If you're heading off, have a nice dinner, and catch you next time. Yeah. Anyway, so that was kind of interesting. I found that kind of interesting. Okay, let's do some tiny islands, and then I will be. Actually, I can probably make this. Hold on. I can share this a bit better. If anyone wants to play along, feel free. I'm going to be doing the daily shuffle, and I think today it's the normal scoring. Let me quickly check Ross's Discord and see what the highest score is, or just to check whether there's any special rules today. Some of the daily shuffles for a while. What are we today? Okay. Wait, is it today? Where are we now? Okay, they haven't shown the scores for today. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. Let's go. Ooh, a bit of an early. Don't mind an early mountain. Don't want more mountains though. Okay, maybe we'll be able to get a cool shoreline going. Build on some houses. Houses like to be next to lots of different things. Well, waves are good, but I do prefer houses. Oh, good. Early church. Always valuable. You do not want another church. Now I have to put this. Yeah. Okay, I guess I can try and stick this really far away and then try and see how I go. Okay, lots of shore. Interesting. Okay, I guess we can put it on the back. Like this island, maybe? Maybe. Don't want any trees near that. Oh, congrats, Nicola, on sending the Zenobia Award. Yeah, I guess that application is due today, right? Yeah, congrats. That's great to get that out and done. Okay, I'm going to try and do some waves. Don't know, actually. Feels bad, but I want it to be near the. Okay, let's try that. Oh, good. We can work on some forests. Oh gosh, okay, it's going to be interesting. Let's try this. Boom. See you, Bess. Thanks for dropping by. Enjoy your dinner. How are we going? Oh, this is a bit of a. I feel like it's not going so well for me. I did a bit of a. I guess I can just take some waves. See how that goes. Maybe I'll put the waves down here and try and get some houses down here or something. Not sure. Good. Some more trees. Always welcome. See you, Robert. And good luck with your playtest. Yeah, I should have said actually I had a really nice playtest with Robert. His game number station during the week. Yeah, it was quite enjoyable actually. Hopefully some useful feedback, but yeah, I thought it went really well. All right. Yes, and have a great weekend. All those are heading off. Take care. Where are you? Play some nice games, I hope. Hold on. So, more houses, small houses. More houses sounds good. I don't really want a church, so I think waves it is. Waves it is. Mountain's not going to work for that, but let's do some trees. No, don't want trees over there. I think I've really messed this up, I'm afraid. It's not looking good for our hero. Okay, I'll just get some more waves, I guess. Oh wow, there's a lot of waves today. A lot of waves. Oh wow. I'm kind of screwed actually, because I'm gonna knock out a waves. Oh wow, this is really bad. All right. Because there's nowhere I could put the waves that's not gonna not score something. So I may as well. Yeah. I could make a lake. But it's. Oh, I get you. Oh, I can't undo now. You're right. I could make a lake. Oh, I should have done that. Yeah, that was you're right. You're right, Jay. Well intuited. Yeah, that was not good. Okay, put another. I'm just gonna hope I get another forest down here, I guess. Okay, more forest around here is good. Okay. Let's see. I kind of want the most opportunity to. I think something like this probably. Maybe. Let's make a big thing here. Okay. Oh, would it still be in line? Yeah, I think it was one of these impossible. Yeah, I don't somehow I don't think it was going to happen, unfortunately. That's nice. Sure, helps my houses. Speed of oh my gosh. So I can't do that wave, and then I have to like cancel my church scoring. Good lord, this has been. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had such a bad run on this. Hey Jess, how are you going? I stream at 4 p.m. GMT or 5 p.m. European time. Yeah, so I've been going for about almost 2 hours now. I don't know. Did like the Discord? Oh, I probably didn't have Discord. I've just opened Discord, so that probably means I need to have Discord open for it to automatically work to notify people in. That is probably right, I'm guessing, because I wonder if this is saying I'm. I guess I'm. It says I'm streaming, probably, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't fully know how it works, but I guess that's probably what happens. So I now know a new thing to make sure I open up Discord when I'm streaming to notify people that way. Yeah, you've just come in time to watch me do very, very poorly at Tiny Islands for today, and it's been a bit of a wave heavy kind of day, and it's gone right. Well, I guess actually this isn't scoring already, so it's not really a big problem. But yeah, it's been pretty rough. Let's say. It just says, okay, yes, I've learned to have Discord open at the beginning of your stream so it notifies folk. Okay, great. No, thanks for that. I will remember that. All right. Well, I think this mountain's going to score more than that forest, so I will put that there. Oh, great, good. That was a good forest to get because I joined up those. No, you didn't. Well, you can always catch up on the stream later, or I put all the videos on YouTube. We made a good progress with a bit of this habitat roll and ride, and lots of really great suggestions in the chat. Thanks everyone for that. So yeah, no, it went pretty well. I was pretty happy with it. Okay, I guess a house here gets me 2 points at least. Ooh, interesting. Another ship or a wave, which will score nothing, so I'm not going to do that. Well, I think it doesn't really matter. I'll stick it down here, I guess. I could have some more forests, which is not too bad. Yeah, forest it is. And more boats. More boats. Okay, boats it's going to be. But I don't want to have fewer. Yeah, I don't quite know how this works, but I think that was the best I could get. Oh, I may have also. Oh no, I can put a little lake in here, so that's nice. Yes, it was. I was still working on this habitat game that was from the first stream. Yeah. Now look upon my horrible waves that are not scoring very well, unfortunately. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, so maybe I'll keep working it on stream another time, or yeah, I'm not sure like if that's going to be the main thing I do on stream. But I think for like more relaxed streams, it's also interesting. It kind of is a good way to make sure I work on things, which can be useful, I think. Yeah, man, this is okay. Well, I'm going to get back a few points with the forests and these mountains will be pretty reasonable. But yeah, that's still. Am I going to crack 50 at least? No, or maybe. Can't tell. Not quick enough to add up. Oh, okay. Oh, 58's all right. I'll take that. It's not too bad. I'll take a screenshot so I can put it in the Discord a bit later. Great. Cool. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours basically, so I think I'm probably going to stop soon. So if anyone's got any last minute questions or requests or anything, do throw it in the chat. What are people up to for the weekend? Hope hope everyone's well, as I say a lot, but I really do hope that. And yeah, good luck to Nicola with your award application. For those who came a bit later, the tabletop mentoring program is just open now. The tabletop mentorship program. Which I would really recommend anybody checking out. Let's do which I can share. So this has just become so it's if you just look up tabletop mentorship program, application's live now, and you've got about 10 days to make an application, and things will start at the start of February. I'd really recommend the experience. It's great. I've been a mentor 6 or 7 times for 6 or 7 people. And I've really enjoyed it from that point of view, and I hope that my mentees have got something out of it. So whether you want to be a mentee or a mentor, would really recommend it and check it out now and put in an application. Yeah, but with that, I think that will be it for me today. But thank you very much for everyone who joined. Yeah, it was a bit of fun and got a bit of a new design done. So that's always nice. Result. So, shall we raid? Somebody? Rules. I've gone long enough to run into Ruel's stream, so maybe we'll head over there. But thanks everyone, and yeah, I'll catch you all. I'll be back on Monday, normal time, 4 p.m. GMT, 5 p.m. Central European time. Have a fantastic weekend, and take care. And thanks very much. And let's go a raiding. Start raiding. Cool. I think it's hopefully working. Yeah, should be fine. Great. All right. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care.